of those, and how important is that?
You know, one thing we talked about, I really had no idea that that was something that was approaching, and I think, you know, it's just awesome to see. We always talk about what the kids do off the court and how important those things are, but I think what's neat to see is the accomplishments that we've been able to do on the court as well, and obviously having a milestone like that is huge. And you know, it's the same thing that we talk about with the 40th year anniversary. You think about all the people that have been involved with those 1,000 wins over the last 40 years, and that's what makes it special. So that goes to a lot of people when you have an honor like that.
It looked like a pretty complete effort on both sides of the net, offense, defense tonight. Just your thoughts on how they played.
I think, you know, it was a great overall weekend for us, and like you said, both sides of the net. I think the one thing that I think helped us a lot was our serving and passing game. We served both nights. I thought we served really well, which took both teams kind of out of what they normally do. Southern's a team that very fast offense, and you could see when they're in system how fast they really are, and they're very difficult to defend. But I thought our servers did a nice job of getting them out of system. And then our offense is just an area that I've talked about many times, the improvements that we've been needing, and I just thought this was a huge jump for us this weekend.
Kinsey with 17 digs, you know, is that something that you wanted to see by design, or I guess can you talk a little about that with the setter getting those dig numbers?
Yeah, I think, you know, that's a big part of why I feel one of our strengths is our defense, is because we have a setter that, you know, she could be a defensive specialist, to be honest with you. You know, she's one of those kids that defends well, and it's hard for a setter because their mentality is I got to get to the net. So for her to be able to, you know, sit back and dig balls is a huge positive for us, and she's very capable, and I think she's really stepped up that part of her game over the last few weeks.
And obviously if she's getting digs, somebody else is giving the set, you feel like, you know, you have good enough hands in that front row still to get it to the right spot? Or?
Yeah, I think what's been neat about it, we obviously have a system when Kinsey digs who's supposed to step in, but what's happening, which I really love to see, is that, you know, sometimes that kid doesn't have the best opportunity to set the best ball, and we've had people kind of overcall. So the communication and the being able to listen and understand where everyone's at has been huge, because one of our weaknesses, like we talked about earlier in the season, was being able to get good hittable balls out of transition and out of defending, and I think we've done a much better job of that, and part of that is the people that step in when Kinsey digs.
Looks like Autumn's really, you know, developed into a nice offensive weapon from that middle spot. Just your thoughts on how she's kind of progressed here.
I think, you know, Autumn is that kid that she has the capability to hit the corners. She's kind of unassuming, you know, like she doesn't have a really big approach when she comes in offensively, but she has a big swing. So we've played people like that too, and they're a little bit harder to defend sometimes. But I think she's just gained a lot of confidence over the last few weeks in her offense. I think her and Kinsey have a really good connection, and obviously have been connecting well. And we're trying to get her more in transition, and she's been able to step up and do that over the last few weeks.
7-0 entering the final first rotation of league play. You know, is this where you anticipated this team would be? Or are you kind of ahead of where you thought you'd be at this point, or how would you kind of assess where you're at?
You know, we always, you know, are in it to win every match, so, you know, that's our goal. But it's just, we're fortunate, I think, to be where we're at just because of the craziness of the conference, and we've had a lot of tight matches that we've been able to hang on to and come out on the winning side. Obviously, we have a huge weekend next weekend against two very good teams, and then you turn around and have to play everyone again, and just with the craziness, you know, anything can happen over the next few weeks. But what I love is our kids just are really working hard to continue to improve each time they step on the court, which we're gonna continue to need to do that.
You know, you talked about the offense beginning of the year. You didn't know, you're like, we're going to struggle to get points sometimes. It just seemed like tonight it was easy. Has it just really improved that much to where it was hard and now it's just easy?
I think, you know, definitely not easy. I think one of the things, we just have done a much better job of bettering the ball. You know, defensively, we have been getting a lot of touches all year, but we're bettering that second ball. Our hitters are really fighting hard to get themselves in a position to have a good swing rather than only having one option that they can swing. So I think it's just a combination of, you know, everybody picking up the certain parts of their game in transition that's really helped us.
that third set. You know, SIU made a little bit of run in that second set.